This webinar is intended to talk about the launch of the Intuit App Partner Program in Australia.
Good morning. I'm Ravi Amne. At Intuit, I help our partners, you, to build on our platform. I help you to use our platform in a best possible way, grow your app, and thus grow your business. Today, I'm going to talk about Intuit's App Partner Program, what it is, why we are doing it, what are the benefits, what are some of the actions that you need to take, along with timelines. I'll then talk about the premium APIs that we're offering as a part of this program. And finally, I'll discuss some ways to optimize your API calls. We will have some time for Q&A at the end of this session. All right. Why are we doing this? We are moving away from a model where the partners receive the same level of tech support irrespective of their needs. We are moving away from a model where partners, although they can list their app on our marketplace and reach to our customers, there's no way for them to differentiate their app. We're going to offer a dedicated technical support based on your needs. We'll offer proactive tech consultation by doing integration reviews, providing advice on how you could improve your integration, etc. We want to do joint planning with you where our product development roadmap considers your needs. We want to improve the discoverability of your apps and help promote and spotlight them in the marketplace. With that, I'd like to introduce the new Intuit App Partner Program. Now, this program introduces the concept of partner tiering. We're introducing 4 tiers: Builder, Silver, Gold, and Platinum. As you climb up the tier, you get access to more and more benefits. What we're trying to achieve here is, as you grow, you get more and more benefits, and we work more and more closely with each other. And we hope that this will create a cycle where both contribute to each other's success. In addition to the benefits that we'll get into, we'll provide increased API credits in each tier. We'll discuss the API credits in more details later, but first let's have a closer look at the benefits. The benefits are designed around 3 core pillars: build, grow, and engage. The build benefits include how you go about building on our platform. Grow benefits include how we market together. And the engage benefits include how we engage and contribute to each other's success. So that's our core pillars. Now let's have a quick glance at the benefits. It's a kind of a busy slide, but I'll try to go through this. And you can always kind of refer to our program guide that is on our developer.intuit.com. So the build tier partners get build and engage benefits. They get to create an app, obviously. They get to access our documentation and tooling. They get sandboxes to test their integration. They get access to APIs. And then we'll talk a little bit more about APIs later. And then in terms of the support, they get the support via community forums. Now, Silver tier gets access to premium APIs. Again, I'll introduce them later. And it is this tier where really the grow benefits start. With Silver, you can list your app on our marketplace. So if you wanted to kind of list your app on our marketplace, you need to be at Silver tier. Now, just a note here, and then I'll talk about the timelines as well. But going forward, if you want, as I said, if you want to list your app on our marketplace, you need to be in Silver tier. However, if you are our current partner and you have your app listed on our marketplace and you want to stay, you want to remain within the builder tier, then we'll honor your existing app listing. We'll not remove that. The app listing part is only going forward. All right. So going back to our silver tier, you also get self-service access to what we call as Partner Resource Center or RPC. And you get standard developer support, as in you can create tickets with our support team and we'll respond to those tickets. Gold tier gets all the benefits of silver, and in addition, you get app badging. You get dedicated account manager, and you get technical consulting and support. This could be quite important to you. So as part of technical consulting and support, we will review your integration and help you improve it. And that will start from the gold tier. And we will have a constant channel open with you to kind of discuss your integration needs. For platinum, in addition to all this, you get a feature rotator in app marketplace, and this will differentiate your app in marketplace. You also get advanced support on Partner Resource Center or RPC. It just, I have tried to list all the benefits in one slide. It could be a busy slide. So I suggest you have a look at our program guide that is available on our developer.intuit.com. All right. So with that covered, let's talk about what we are changing in terms of pricing. So as you can see, this is kind of an evolution that we are going through. And as a part of this evolution, we are making a fundamental change to our platform by introducing platform service fees. There is a monthly service fee and there is variable API fee. The monthly service fee differs for each tier. Builder is a free tier. Silver is charged at 500 AUD in monthly fees. Gold at 2,550 Australian dollars, and platinum at 6,900 AUD. And then there is a variable API fee. Now, to understand the variable API fee, we need to understand the API credits. Each tier comes with an API credit. For instance, for silver, you get 1 million in API credits. So let's say if you are in silver and making less than 1 million API calls in a month, then there will not be any variable fee for you. However, if you exceed that monthly limit in a given month, then you will be charged at, I think what was that, $5.35 per additional 1,000 API calls. Hope that makes sense. So just on the credits, for builder tier, you get 500,000 per month. For silver, you get 1 million per month. For gold, you get 10 million. And for platinum, you get 75 million. So an important thing to keep in mind, because it's a free tier, if you exceed the allocated API credit of 500,000 API calls per month, then any additional API calls from your app will be blocked. That is, if you are in a builder tier. But if you are in other tiers, silver, gold, and platinum, the additional calls over and above the credit limit will be charged. The charges are given on the screen. I'll pause here for a moment for you to have a look. By the way, we are going to kind of obviously display all this pricing on our portal, and I'll talk about the timelines about those later as well. Now, there are some important notes here. There are two types of API calls, what we call as core API calls and core plus API calls. Now, core API calls are free. We only charge for the core plus API calls. What are core APIs? Core APIs, in simple terms, is when you write the data to QBO company. When you utilize core APIs, when you write the data to QBO company, we do not charge. Core plus APIs, on the other hand, is when you read the data from QBO company. And when you utilize such core plus calls, we charge you. Another important thing to keep in mind is we will charge only successful API calls. That means the calls that specifically return 200 or 2xx HTTP status code. All right. So if you try to subscribe today, unfortunately, you will not find that option yet. We are going to roll it out on 14th of October for Australia. Just to repeat, the builder tier is free and you can subscribe to silver tier online. However, if you need gold or platinum subscription, you will have to request an upgrade. That request will reach us, we'll review, and we will approve your request if you meet the requirements. So just to repeat, silver, you can just subscribe online. The subscription will be enabled within an hour. But if you want to be at gold or platinum, then you have to request an upgrade and we'll have to review and approve it. Now, what are the requirements for each of these tiers? These are the program requirements by tier. For all tiers, you'll need to meet the compliance requirements. That is, you'll need to accept our terms and conditions, and you need to answer our questionnaire and have it approved. For silver, gold, and platinum, you need to enter your payment details. When it comes to app listing, for silver, you don't need to list your app to be qualified for silver tier, although we kind of recommend you to because that's how you reach to millions of our customers, but it's not mandatory. However, if you want to be a gold or platinum partner, then app listing is mandatory. And finally, if you want gold or platinum, for gold, you need to have 500 active connections. And for platinum, you need to have 3,000 active connections. What we mean by active connection is A, how many companies have connected your app? How many QBO users are using your app? And B, how many of those connections are active? That is, you may know that if the app does not interact with QBO for 100 days, then the tokens that are used for that kind of interaction expire. And we call that as an expired connection. So if you're not using, or if the QBO user has not used your account app for say 100 days, then that app connection becomes expired and we don't count it towards that count. Just to recap, these are the conditions. Silver, you can simply subscribe online. Gold and platinum, you need to raise upgrade request. We'll review and approve subject you meet these conditions. All right. Let's quickly talk a little bit more about the APIs, the core versus core plus APIs. As I said, core APIs are when you write the data to QBO file. Core plus APIs are when you read data from QBO file. Now, we do not meter or charge, as I said, core APIs. We meter and charge only core plus APIs. So the variable charges that you saw on the earlier slide was all relating to core plus APIs. All right, so these are the timelines. As I said, the subscription is not available yet. We will roll it out starting from 14th of October for Australia. The benefits are available starting from 3rd of November, and the metering starts at 3rd of November. I would also like to quickly touch upon some of the actions that you need to take. The first one is make sure that you enter your company address. So next time you log into Qubio developer.intuit.com, and if you have not already done so, we will show you a modal pop-up where you need to select your country of business. By address, we mean the address or the country from where your business operates. So make sure that you enter your address, the country, and click on next so that the address gets saved. Now, one other thing is, and this could be very crucial, is review your API usage. We will give you analytics where you will be able to see how your apps, what is the usage pattern for your app, how many APIs you are making, you calling every month, how many of them are core versus core plus. And this will help you to decide which tier you want to subscribe to. With this kind of the tiering that we have in place, most of our partners will fall in builder tier, and we're happy if they stay there. But if the partners want to grow their business, market with us, engage with us, then obviously they need to start with silver and onwards. One last thing is do visit developer.intuit.com. There are a lot of resources. Everything I'm saying here is available there, and have a look at the program guide. It has all the details, including the details on the benefits. All right, so let's talk about the premium APIs. Now, going forward, we are going to categorize certain types of APIs as premium APIs, the new APIs that we are going to make available. And based on those APIs, we'll make them available to different tiers based on our assessment of the importance of that API. The first API that we are going to release is projects APIs. Just a recap on projects. Projects as a feature in Qubio helps organize all transactions, time, and expenses to a specific client or job. You can associate project with customers, invoices, bills, and other Qubio transaction types. And in doing so, you can get better insights, do budgeting, cost allocation, etc. Now, projects as a feature in Qubio is only available in Qubio Plus, Advanced, and Accountant. The project's APIs will be available for Silver, Gold, and Platinum partners. With projects API, obviously, you can create, read, update, delete the projects, and allocate transactions to those projects. And you can imagine this can make your integration richer, where you can have custom project management dashboards. You can have enhanced reporting and analytics. You can have automated budgeting, cost allocation, etc. So those are the use cases that this particular API will kind of help you with. Again, for more details on this API, please refer to our documentation. There are a couple of nuances where you need to kind of have access to a new scope in order to use this API, but I won't go into all those details. There is documentation available on our developer portal, and also there is a video that talks about all these details. So that's projects APIs. The other API that we are going to release as part of this program is Custom Fields API. Again, just a recap, Custom Fields as feature in Qubio let users add personalized data fields to forms and transactions. And that helps businesses capture the information that is unique to their operations. Custom fields are supported for transactions like sales and purchase and invoices, as well as entities like customer, vendor, etc. Now, in terms of the feature, custom field as feature is available in Qubio Essentials plus Advanced, However, the custom field APIs are only available for gold and platinum partners. Obviously, with this API, you can create, read, update, disable the custom fields in QBO. You can create transaction and entities with custom fields. And you can imagine this could make your integration richer, where you could build, say, industry-specific integrations. Let's say you have your app kind of operates in construction industry, then you could have construction job codes, or in case of healthcare billing tags. So these premium APIs seek to kind of make the integrations richer for the given tier of partners. All right. So finally, let's talk about some of the techniques that you could use to optimize your API. Now, we always recommend using our platform in an optimal way. But that aspect has become more important to you too now, because now there are variable API charges. And as such, you'd want to kind of, as I said, you'd want to look at your consumption. And if the consumption is high, then you would want to kind of look at the optimization techniques to bring down that consumption. And those are the simple techniques I'm going to talk about. The first one is make use of query operation. Now, query is a no-brainer. It returns multiple records in a single call. Let's say your app wants to show customers unpaid invoices. Then you'll just kind of select start from invoices, and then you will use the filter there where says balance is greater than 0. Now make sure you use the filters so that you get only the data that is required. And you also use the other parameters like max results. Because if you don't use max results, you'll get only 100 records back. Whereas with max results specified, you can get up to 1,000 records back, right? So instead of let's say there are 500 invoices, instead of making 5 calls, by using the max results to 1,000, you'll get all those records in one call, thus effectively kind of reducing your call volume by the factor of 5. So make use of the query operation. The second powerful operation is batch operation. Now, it's quite powerful operation. It sends multiple requests in a single call to QBO. Think of it like placing one big order instead of like 10, 15 small ones. So in simple example, let's say you want to kind of create a new customer and create an invoice for that customer. You can do both these things in a single batch operation. Now, in a batch call, there could be 30 operations that you could include. Now, let's say you make a batch call and all of those operations are write operations or core APIs. Then obviously that batch call will not be counted towards core plus. But let's say you make another batch call where there are some core API calls, but one or more core plus API calls where you read the data, then that batch operation will be counted as one call towards that credit that we talked about. So that's how the batch operations work. Another technique is what we call as change data capture, or CDC for short. Basically, CDC helps you to find what changed in QBO. Not everything, just what's new, updated, or deleted since your last sync. So let's say you want to kind of get the customers and invoices since the start of this month, because you want to kind of display such dashboard as part of your app. Then you will you'll use the since date and make use of the CDC API call. Now, another kind of useful technique is webhooks. Now, webhooks let QBO notify your app automatically whenever there is something that changes. So instead of your app having to keep asking, did anything change? Did anything change? Let's say your app needs to track invoices in real time. So instead of calling the API every few minutes or hours, you could simply subscribe to webhooks. And then when you receive a webhook event, you can then read that invoice. So you don't have to waste your read calls unnecessary when that's not needed. Now, a thing to keep in mind is the receipt of webhook, that is when you receive the webhook, that does not count towards the API credit. But after receiving that webhook event, if you make a read call, then that will be counted as a call plus API call. All right. So these are the techniques. Just a disclaimer, these are simple techniques based on, in some cases, industry standards and our understanding. So while we provide these, it's really up to you to kind of make a right use of these and make sure that you taste whatever you implement in production or in sandbox before you kind of release your changes to production. Having said that, if you are in gold or platinum, then as I said, we offer dedicated technical developer support. So you would have access to, for instance, if you are in gold or platinum, you would have access to me or my colleagues. And then we will actually proactively look at your integration. We can look the specific aspects of your integration, the way you make calls, and we can provide you with a detailed and precise instructions on how to optimize your particular integration. So these are all the techniques that you should look at to minimize your API call volume. There are some other things that you need to keep in mind. We do apply rate or throttling limits. So for instance, you can send only 500 requests per minute per YAM ID. So keep that in mind and respect that limit. You can actually do 10 concurrent requests in 1 second per YAM ID per app. We talked about the batch operation, which can have 30 operations. And you can send 40 such batch requests per minute per YAM ID. If you hit the throttling limits, you will receive a HTTP error 439 with additional header called retry after. And that retry after will have some kind of value specified to it, like 5 minutes, 1 minute. Adhere to that. So let's say the retry after says 1 minute. Make the next call after a minute, because if you did within the same minute, then your next call will fail too. One other thing I tell the partners that I've worked with is always make sure that you send request IDs so that you don't create duplicate transactions. So let's say your app, based on a sales performed in some channel, your app creates a sales receipt in Qubio. So you make that create sales receipt call to Qubio, and for some reasons, maybe network reasons, the call just fails. Like it doesn't respond. You don't get any response back from Qubio. You don't know the call could have succeeded, the sales receipt could have been created or not. You don't know. So if you make another call because it was a failure without request ID, then, and if the sales receipt was already created in Qubio, then you will end up creating a duplicate sales receipt. But if you use the request ID and the value is same, then we'll honor and we'll avoid that duplicate. So these are some of the things. There are a lot of other things I do strongly recommend you to refer to our documentation. And in addition, there are some videos. The links are in the email that we have sent to you. You can refer to those videos as well.